All right, now we're going to go over sales systems, specifically how to keep your virtual assistants sharp. This is how you keep them sharp. Okay, we're going to go over this and what you want to do daily, and we're going to just go over this, okay? So sales system, keeping them sharp. You want to keep your virtual assistants sharp, the people that are on the phone sharp, and you just want to make sure that they're getting better and better every single day, and you want to actually um, know what level they're at, okay? But you'll know just based on the numbers. So let's just talk about this real quick. All right, so how do you keep them sharp? Well, let me first talk about how human beings are. Is they will start something and they'll be good, and then they'll go back to their bad habits. So the point of any sales team is you want to keep them from going back to their bad habits. And it doesn't matter how good your salespeople are. They always, as human beings, we always go back to our bad habits, and that's what's going to happen. So even my sales team, I have 10 virtual assistants that are constantly making calls, texts, and emailing for my DTS business. And we do pretty well day in, day out, but even sometimes they will go back to bad habits, and then there'll be a sudden drop in performance, and I'm like, what the hell's happening, right? So to make sure that doesn't happen, you want to keep your salespeople sharp, keep them in the game, and constantly giving them constructive criticism so they're not doing ineffective things. So let's start. All right, so train them on sales calls. So you want to actually train them 1 hour a day. And you might say, hey, I'm not a sales person, so this doesn't work for me. Well, two things here. You could hire me and I can help you. Or you could do it yourself. This is really easy. You just take the script, and then you take the objections and the objection handlers, and you get them to practice that. Oh, we have a guy that comes by. We have a guy that comes by and gets our pallets every day already. Okay, well, how much money does he give you per pallet? Like, that's a rebuttal. Oh, he doesn't really. I mean, he just takes them and stuff like that. Okay, well, how many pallets do you have? Well, we usually have like 50. Are they 48 by 40s? Yeah, most of them are 48 by 40s. Okay, what if I can pay you for $1 each? Well, I don't know. We've been using this one guy, and he's been pretty consistent lately. Well, what if we could pay you? Would you like that? So I'm just giving you guys an example, right? These are just like little things that, you get on the phone call and have these conversations. There's different rebuttals for different things. Other than paying for, do you want us to clean your area up? Do you, all that? Do you want us to come by consistently every 2 weeks, every week, every day? What if we came by more than him? Like, these are just little things that you can be going over of what you can say so that you can add value to their business. And the thing is, you want to look at how can you add value to their business today, not like in the future or whatever, but it's like today, how can I add value to them? What do they need right now? And that's what you want to look at when it comes to thinking about the call. All right, cool. So so in the morning, I suggest doing 1 hour, spending an hour with them, just going through the call. Give them the script, let them practice it, and then you should already kind of know this script. This is a very easy sales script. I wouldn't even really consider it like, it's not a hard sell. It's just a conversation, really. But you want to get them to practice this conversation with you an hour a day, and you want to say things that people will say on the calls usually. I mean, you've probably been to a bunch of doors where people were like, oh, well, blah blah blah, and it's not a good time right now, and all these different things that people say, right? You want to have rebuttals for them, and if you already seasoned guy, you already know this. I will actually have the conversation, the sales conversation that you can actually have, so that you can do that. Okay, so when you have the sales script and you have the objections and the objection handlers, you want to practice for 1 hour a day to keep your people good. All right. Then here's what you want to do. You want to also you want to monitor their calls daily, because sometimes what happens is people can show up that first hour and they can be good, and then when they are out and they're making calls and they're doing what they're doing, their performance drops. They don't care as much. Um, you know, they get in difficult moods, or they just can't figure out how to overcome a objection. Then what you want to do is you want to listen to them and correct them all day. And I suggest, if you don't have anything to do and you're just like a pallet guy, and I would say listen to their calls for a couple hours a day, and you can hear where they went wrong, and you can tell them, hey, this is where you went wrong, and this is what you should have said or could have said. So understand that. Now, an easy way for you to verify what they're doing is you can get RingCentral. And this is what we have. And this is a really cool software, RingCentral. You can get many numbers as you want. You can add users. I think this is like $120 a month for all the different things we have. But when people are on an actual call, they can literally, there's a feature that's called Whisper, and when calls are active, you can listen in to the actual call. So you can click on Whisper. So when people are on the calls, you just click on Whisper, and they will you can listen right in. So that's the point. You want to listen actually to them. And what happens is, while they're on the call, you can talk to them and they can hear you while they're talking to the other person. So you can say like, hey, tell them about this, or no, don't say that. Tell them how you want to blank, or tell them, give them keywords on what they should say, or you know what I'm saying. So this is all going to take practice, but you're going to listen and whisper, and this is literally why I got this software. It's called Whisper, so that you can listen to them. And it's kind of funny, but it's kind of like you're literally whispering in their ear while they're talking to somebody. So it's RingCentral, and ask for whispering. Make sure you get that software so that you can literally monitor your salespeople the whole day on that if you really wanted to, and you can get them better. That's an easy way. Or you can hire a manager to listen all day, or a specific sales manager to listen to them all day and correct them. So you want to get these people, you want to make sure these people are correct them, consistently all day. Okay, you can do that. Nothing wrong with that. Actually, I highly suggest in the beginning you micromanage them to the point where they're performing, and you want to keep doing that until they're good at what they do. So, eventually what will happen too as well is the person that is the best, they usually become the leader of the pack, and then they're able to manage, and they can manage and they can help teach other people. Or you can literally take their phone calls, and whoever is coming on, if you're hiring a new salesperson, you can take their recordings, one of their best recordings, and just give it to the new person so that they can hear exactly how to make the call, what to say, how to say it, so these are just different things that you can put in a word sheet so that they can always refer back to it. All right. So in this thing, we talked about how to keep your salespeople sharp and what softwares to use so that they stay sharp, what processes they need daily so that they get better, and what you need to do, or what your manager, whoever you hire, you probably if you bought this, you probably don't have a manager virtual assistant yet. But if you do, or let's say you're a company and you already have managers, you can get them to listen as well. All right. So we talked about keeping them sharp, calls, monitoring them, softwares. You need to use all these different things to keep them sharp. That's the point. All right. All right. Next, we're going to talk about daily activities. So daily activities and measures. I should have put measures here. So you're going to need people to be doing the activities that make money, right? So it's what we call daily activities and measures, or quotas, however you want to say it, okay? What we do is, obviously, we always follow up on warm leads. We have a list of warm leads that we're always monitoring and taking notes on. So we have like a list of warm leads that we're always making notes and monitoring, and that's a lot of what we do, is keeping those lists of warm leads, and you can do that with Slack. So another thing too is they do cold calls. They could do 100 calls and then 50 emails. One thing that I highly suggest that you do with them is you get them to make the calls, and then whatever they talked about during the call, send them an email of what you guys talked about. So if you call a company and you tell them you're going to meet them next week at this time, and you're going to pick up the pallets, tell them exactly what you guys talked about and confirm, and say it was nice to meet you, nice to talk with you, and a nice email, shooting and letting them know, okay, next week we'll see you at this time. We'll remind you the day of as well. The day before and the day of. I would suggest the day before and the day of, and you can remind them through, I would suggest either a text or an email the day before, and then if they don't answer that in the beginning of the day, call them later in the day and just let them know, hey, we're coming tomorrow at 10 a.m. Is that still okay? Boom. And then the day of in the morning, you just shoot them an email. I wouldn't be too invasive. If they confirm confidently at the end of the day before, then you can. But, things change. Things can change sometimes. So if you want to make that follow-up call in the morning, just say, hey, we're on the way. You're kind of confirming and just saying, hey, we're coming at the same time. You can do that. Another thing, and I'm going to go over this certain technology. I really like this. So let's go back up here. 100 calls a day, 50 emails a day. And why are we doing all that? Because what we want to do is we want to start a web of conversations in different platforms in different ways. It could be a call, it could be a LinkedIn message, it could be an email, it could be whatever, a text message. We want to start conversations and make it easy to contact us back, so they know that they can contact us on multiple platforms if needed, right? So that's why we don't want to just do 100 calls and then do the phone call thing. We could do 100 calls and then 50 emails. That just gives them an easier entry. Maybe some people don't want to be on the phone call and they are more comfortable with emails, which we get that a lot. So there's nothing wrong with doing that, okay? We have 3 people that's calling consistently every single day. Our measures is 2 appointments a day, and that's pretty much it. So they have to set 2 appointments the day of, and it could be and that is new business. So they have to set 2 new appointments on new business, and so that doesn't include consistent people that we pick up pallets from. Then you have rebump technology. So, and I will explain what this is, but like because I want to set this up so you guys can see what it can do. So I want to make a whole video about that. Rebump is a great technology. You can use it with Gmail, and what it does is it will automatically follow up in Gmail. So let's say you send a Gmail, you send an email through your Gmail account to somebody. There's a option near the send button where you can put rebump. Now what rebump does is it will automatically follow up on this person, and it will have what, and we've talked about this before, but it's called a sequence. So it can have the sequence. It's like sequences made with rebump in Gmail, and it's an extension. So you can send an email and then press rebump, and what it will do is it will automatically follow up on that person within 3 days, and then if they don't reply back, then there will be another follow up, and you can make that timing whatever you want to do. It could be 3 days, it could be 7 days, it could be 2 weeks, it could be next month. But rebump gives you an option to make 7 different emails, 7 different follow-ups, and that's just their basic structure of what they do. But you can actually make 14 follow-ups, you can make 3 follow-ups, you can make as many as you want, but they have pre-made templates for you to use so that you can just use what they like. I just use what they had. They have like a 7 follow-up email sequence, so that let's say you make a call, you shoot them an email, they might not even they might be too they might be too in their work to really notice it. You put rebump on, then it will literally follow up with them 7 times. So you don't have to do the work of keep calling them back and emailing them and doing all this stuff. You can literally get this sequence to do it for you. So, and you can use this for proposals. You could use this for let's say you send a proposal on a load, you could put rebump, and it will automatically follow up with them. You could just, that first sequence, that first email follow up could be, hey, did you get my last email? The second one could be, I saw that you opened the email. Are you still interested in doing and moving forward? Because we actually have somebody else that we're, what I'm saying? That is just an example. You don't have to put that, but you can use a sequence for any action. If there's somebody that they want to be reminded every single month, then you could put monthly reminder contact. So what will happen is, if you did 50 of those in one day, that means that's going to be 7 times 50. So 7 times 50 is 350. So what that would do, it would be 350 follow-ups that's done for you that you don't even have to do yourself. Okay? That's the point. It's a very powerful technology, and you just want to be super careful with that too as well. When it comes to, you want to try and personalize it. So in rebump you can personalize stuff as well, so look out for that feature as well. So anyways, that is that. So we talked about virtual assistants, sales system, keeping them sharp, and we talked about daily activities and quotas. Now quotas is 2 appointments each. So that's new customers, new appointments, new people. And then obviously, they're automatically going to have your list of the route quote unquote the route of different pallet supplies that you need to go pick up. They'll be your customer service, your front desk, your salesperson, to be the communication that you can't be. You don't want to be on the phone all day, but they'll say, hey, I just called this company and told them that you're coming. That's what I do with my people all the time. I say, hey, tell them I'm coming and blank. Another really powerful reason why you want to have a virtual assistant is so that you can look professional. Imagine if they did all this, imagine if they did all this stuff for you instead of you doing this. That's the point. If you're watching this video, I highly suggest get a virtual assistant. They don't cost that much. If you want highly trained virtual assistants, you can talk to me about that, and I can give you some competitive pricing. Highly trained virtual assistants for pallets. Okay. And we just talked about this right here. When you make a call, shoot an email saying you call. This is what you talked about. Simple. All right, cool. So let's just talk about this real quick. Teach them the sales process. You want to actually, and I'm going to just go on an overview of this, but you want to make the sales process a step-by-step process so that you can just have the sales teachings in a library. So whenever you get a new person, you could just direct them to the library, and they have all these videos to refer back to if they need to understand how to make the calls, the rebuttals. Maybe there's some coaching calls that you've done in the past, daily meetings that you've recorded, you could put in there, stuff like that. And you could always refer back to that. So you want to make a library of everything, really, but this is one thing you can really take advantage of, is making a library of videos so that you could teach anybody that comes onto your company. Okay, I gotta get going here. We already talked about making a follow-up process. You can do cold email, and then you can also do Active Campaign. I forgot to tell you guys about that. Active Campaign is a emailing service you could use. And Rebump, we talked about Rebump. This is a really good software as well. So that's that. Appreciate everything, and talk to you soon.